Hello, my name is Cordelia A. Banny. Welcome to Black Women in Media's 5th Conference and Awards event. Today I want to speak with you about discovering the nerve to ask for what you want. My masterclass topic is the audacity. What is audacity? Some inaccurately define it as reckless courage. I believe it's actually the willingness to be bold and daring. Before I speak with you about audacity, though, we need to have a conversation about identity. Remember back in the day, maybe even now, your mama or other people would ask you, who do you think you're talking to? Or who do you think you are? What they were really asking you was, what gives you the nerve? The question they were truly seeking a response for was, what do you believe about yourself that makes you engage with me in this way, in this manner? Because audacity grows out of the knowing and the understanding of who you are. And that's why they would ask, who do you think you are? I come to you today with the same exact question. Who do you think you are? Because when you believe something about yourself, you behave a little differently. Purposeful audacity comes out of understood identity. I'll say it again. Purposeful audacity comes out of understood identity. When you understand whose you are and who you are and why you carry courage differently. And we're going to break that down. So let's talk about identity for a minute. If you have never answered these questions for yourself, I want you to write them down now and begin the journey of answering them after this conference. Number 1, whose am I? Number 2, who am I? And number 3, why am I? Mark Twain got it right when he penned that the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. We are purposeful beings. We have been created on purpose, but we have been sent on purpose to do a purposeful work. My purpose is to progress women and girls by equipping them to discover who they are, and why they are, so that they can live purposeful, powerful, and profitable lives. And when I say profitable, I'm not talking financially only. My marriage is profitable. Our relationships should be profitable. Our organizations should be profitable. Our friendships should be profitable. Anything that we are a part of should be profitable. And so the discovery of who you are builds an inner confidence that fuels your audacity. Here's the thing. It's impossible to discover the fullness of who you are if you haven't first understood whose you are. When my iPhone malfunctions or it just doesn't work the way that I want it to, I can Google and research all day long. I can chat with my friends and see if they've had a similar issue. I can do everything in my power to seek and understand this phone. But the reality is I will never fully realize the capabilities of this phone. I will never be able to fix deep issues if I don't go to the creator, the manufacturer. That's Apple. Apple created my iPhone. Apple can tell me what my iPhone can do. Apple can tell me what to do when my iPhone isn't working correctly. Apple created it. Apple knows it. We too have been created by a God who knows us intricately. It is unwise for us to believe that we will know the fullness of who we are without first discovering whose we are. When you know who your daddy is, you walk into the room a little bit different. Your perspective changes. What you accept and what you allow change. When Sasha and Malia walk into a room, they command respect. Yeah, they have an audacity. They have a confidence that I'm sure they're building within themselves. But come on, that confidence is bolstered by whose they are. They are daughters of former or forever President and First Lady Obama. When you walk into a room knowing the legacy, knowing the heritage that you come from, it changes everything about you. Maya Angelou said, you come as one and you stand as 10,000. And let's talk about Maya Angelou for a moment, because yes, we are God's, right? He knows us, he created us, we are his. But we also bear the name of women who have been crown wearing, trailblazing, culture shifting, wisdom bearing freedom fighters, Black women who have achieved exceptional feats and overcome unbelievable odds. Remember whose you are. Use the knowledge of where you come from to strengthen and gather yourself. You want to be audacious? You want to live an audacious life? When you wake up in the morning, you put your fist on your hips and you ask yourself that question: who do you think you are? And then you answer it. I am the sword of Yasantua. I am the fruit of Equiefrier. I am the words of Phyllis Wheatley. I am the audacity of Shirley Chisholm. And I am the wisdom of Maya Angelou. Rehearse your own story. Rehearse your heritage, Black woman. Audacity starts in our mind. Our minds want to tell us that we are imposters, but we are not. Our very history speaks of our ability. We bleed the blood of kings and queens. And so if you want to live an audacious life in every area of your life, professionally, personally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I challenge you to discover whose you are and set that as the foundation for who you are. When you know whose you are and you baptize yourself in that knowledge, you walk into spaces and you are a completely different person, even when our egos are bruised and our esteem is low. It's only a matter of time before the resilient blood that runs through our veins begins to remind us again that we, on our worst days, bear the image of the creator of the universe. That we are the descendants of kings and queens and chiefs of the richest continent on this earth. Your ancestors literally designed and built this country. So let me ask you again, who do you think you are? If you want to have the audacity to ask bold questions and expect bold responses, you have to live in an authentic way. And on that path, it will be revealed to you why you are. Why are you here? What problem have you been assigned to solve? See, knowing this answer empowers you to assess the risks that you're willing to take in life. When you know your why, you ask for things that seem out of your reach because you understand if you're going to pursue your vision, it's going to have to be stronger in you than the fear of rejection. Knowing why you are also protects you from distractions that are cloaked as good opportunities. All that glitters isn't gold, and also all that glitters isn't God. Just because it is a good opportunity does not mean it is your opportunity. Many of us are climbing the ladder of success, and then we get to a certain point and realize that our ladder has been against the wrong building the entire time. Audacious people have clarity about whose they are, so they can have confidence in who they are and focus on why they are. Anyone who desires to live an audacious life must be willing to courageously take bold risks, and risks have outcomes. When you are clear on your whos, when you are clear on your who, and you are clear on your why, outcomes don't impede your progress, they inform it. One of the outcomes of living an audacious life and asking for what you want and need is hearing the word no. Sis, can I help you with something? Stop internalizing the word no as a personal rejection. As someone who has struggled with issues of rejection and abandonment from my childhood, this was one of the greatest and most difficult stories that I had to divorce. I had to divorce the story that rejection is an indictment on who I am. Rejection is actually redirection and oftentimes protection. I'm not here to lie to you and act like rejection doesn't affect us or it doesn't hurt, because it does. But in my unlearning, I have found that someone rejecting my idea, my pitch, my offer, or my proposal is not a rejection of who I am as an individual. I have found that rejection is actually information. It skills us in the art of pivoting. It informs us about our potential next step. It challenges us to manage our emotions. And these are all qualities of a purposefully audacious person. We have all encountered audacious people who have no reason to be audacious, right? Audacity and entitlement produce disaster. We live in a country where many leaders are audacious but incompetent. The responsibility within audacity is competence. And so the part that many want to skip, the hard work, is the part that matters the most. There is no shortcut to success. The people that we look at and we admire today have put in 10, 15, 20 years of work. When images were being developed back in the day, when a photographer took a photo, a portrait, and she wanted to develop it, she would take it into a dark room. The dark room is where the process happens. In order for that negative to develop into an image worth looking at and sharing, it would first have to endure being washed in a solution, being hung out to dry, being left alone, isolated in a dark room until it was complete before it was framed. Many of you may find yourselves in a place where you feel like you've been hung out to dry, like you're in a dark room. Get ready, because your audacious life is just beginning. People who are willing to endure the process have the strength to become audacious. Audacious people have to be willing to go through the process. Audacious people have to be willing to do the hard work. They invest in other people's journeys. Where I am today is as a result of me serving other people's visions for years. Audacious people have receipts. They can articulate how their contribution has positively affected the bottom line. And so if you want to be able to ask for exactly what you want, if you want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and boldly and courageously seek what you are pursuing, make sure you do the work and earn the receipts. It is dangerous to offer basic and minimal effort and expect supreme results. I'm not telling you you will always be ready. Audacious people launch before they're ready, but never before they're prepared. You don't need to be ready to be successful, but you must be prepared. There is a difference. Oftentimes, we have to launch our business, launch our goals, launch our ideas, launch our project before we feel ready internally. But as long as we are prepared, we can be bold and audacious and do it. Do the work, do it afraid, but don't stay afraid. Keep doing it over and over and over and over, even when it seems mundane, because in the time of crisis, we always revert back to what we have rehearsed and what we have practiced. So be good at what you do, but even better, be good at who you are. Do the internal work of you. And out of the abundance of that, you will see that all your work benefits. When you have receipts and you know the caliber of person that you are, and you know the quality of product that you offer and what you bring to the table, when someone says no to your ask, you can confidently walk away knowing that that opportunity or relationship was not for you. Or you can take their no as information and pivot your style or your method to obtain a yes the next time. Remember, hard work is where we develop our resilience. It's where we develop our tenacity. It's where we develop our perseverance. It takes practice. Feed the habits that you want to see grow in your life, and starve the habits that sabotage your becoming. The takeaways here are this. If you want to live an audacious life, number 1, discover who you are. Discover whose you are first. Go on a quest of your heritage. Whose legacy are you living in? Who are the overcomers in your genealogy? Number 2, develop who you are. Study your story. Some of us are asking for things that we don't even want. We're steady asking for a raise when we're not even supposed to be at that job. We don't know how to differentiate between what we actually want and what society has told us we should have because we don't know who we are. And so discovering who you are will give you clarity on your ask. You keep asking to be seen by an audience, a large audience that has no interest in what you offer. Meanwhile, there's a smaller, more loyal audience who is starving for what you offer. Get clear on who you are, because people are waiting for you to take your place. But how will you know what you want if you have no clue who you are? You do that work. And in that work, you will discover it, and you will also determine why you are. The first step to any change is reframing our thinking. So I encourage you to divorce the stories that sabotage your becoming. The permission that you're looking for outside of yourself is actually supposed to be coming from within you. Give yourself permission to be. Give yourself permission to break rules. Give yourself permission to try again. Give yourself permission to question the status quo. Just because your grandmother and your mother and your aunt did it a certain way doesn't mean you have been called to do it that way. You must unlearn the lies that you have told yourself or that you have accepted about what you are capable of and what you are deserving of. I also want to tell you to master your lane. Earn and write out your receipts. Your efforts matter. Your accomplishments matter. Your style matters. Your hard work matters. What you do and how you do it is so unique to you. I don't care if everyone in the world is doing the same thing as you. They're not doing it like you. When you walk down the bread aisles, there's Wonder Bread. There is Martin's Potato Bread. There are all types of bread. Pepper Ridge Farm. Pepper Ridge Farm doesn't stop making bread because Martin's is making bread. Everyone has their unique taste. Everyone has their unique liking. And just like that, different people are drawn to us. Different people desire what we have to offer. And so work on your thing. Master your lane. There is no shortcut. You must learn to overcome obstacles. You must learn to pivot. You must learn to execute and provide solutions. And you must position yourself as a leader, one who is prepared even when they're not ready. We have to stop expecting people to offer us things. We assume that because people see what we're doing, that they should be offering to support us. Ask for the support that you desire. Ask your network. Ask your friends. The worst they can say is no. And the no gives you information about who your true audience is. We must learn to tell our own winning stories and ask for what we need. Doing the work sobers us. It gives us a confidence that is results-based and a confidence that has depth and a confidence that is not superficial, right? Because a confidence that is superficial is easily shaken. But a person who knows what they have accomplished, who knows the obstacles and the challenges that they had to overcome to become who they are and do what they do, that person is not easily shaken. When that person walks into a room, they understand that they have mastered their lane. They have gone above and beyond to prepare and to produce. And that person has no valid reason to hesitate in the way they speak or in the way they move. You cannot affirm your way to confidence. Your daily affirmations are great, but make sure that you're also doing the daily work. And then lastly, I want to tell you to practice your ask. Do not let the first time you ask someone for something be the first time that you've actually asked the question. Rehearse the question in the mirror or in front of a camera and prepare yourself to respond to any and all feedback. Also, ask yourself a series of what if questions. What if this goes exactly the way that I want it to go? How will that affect my life, every area of my life? If you are selling a product, what if Tabitha Brown shouts it out and in one day you have 20,000 orders? How will that affect your life? What if it doesn't go the way that I want it to go? How will that affect my life? You need to learn to what if your way through scenarios so that you are prepared, even if you're not ready. Also, I want to encourage you to chat with strangers. Develop proximity with those people who inspire you. Several years ago, while I was at the Wall Street Journal, I sat in on a talk given by this bold, audacious Black woman. I was deeply taken by her radical acceptance of herself in a majority white space. Instead of bombarding her after the chat like most people were doing, I took the time to get to know my colleagues who, like me, were sitting in the audience. But when I returned to my desk, I sent an email to the speaker, and I said to her, "These are the specific learnings that I gained from your talk. It would be my honor to have 15 minutes with you to clarify and gain further understanding of what you shared." Within 24 hours, we had a time set up on our calendars to meet. See, your first instinct will be, nah, I don't want to ask. I don't want to reach out. What if she says no? I don't want to look thirsty. But sis, you are thirsty. We all are thirsty. We drink from one another's wells. And so fight to be free from the fear of feeling foolish. I'll say it again. Fight to be free from the fear of feeling foolish. Find your rhythm in discomfort. I'm currently running an identity fortifying program for girls who are between the ages of 9 through 15. Our talk show-like program requires us to seek out speakers, and I reach out to speakers all the time, many of whom I don't know, but I reach out to them because I believe that they will have the most impact on the specific girls that I'm serving. I have had to take a stance that a speaker's decision to accept or decline our invitation has nothing to do with the program that we have created, has nothing to do with my girls, and certainly has nothing to do with me. That is a win for me because I've not always been that way. But I've made up in my mind, and I keep rehearsing and casting down the lies that try to come up that they rejected me because I'm not popular enough. Not true. Maybe they rejected it because they don't have time for it right now. Maybe they're setting their own boundaries. And so you have to learn to cast down the lies that want to impede your success. Be bold enough to ask, even if the answer is going to be no. Ask anyway. An audacious person also sets boundaries. They know they're non-negotiables and they're willing to stick to them. You do not allow someone, personal relationships, I'm saying, to tell you no twice. Get better, do better, develop your product, develop yourself until their no becomes someone else's yes. Or maybe their no transforms into a yes. You have to know what your boundaries are. You have to stick to them. There are non-negotiables that you have to be willing to walk away from things if they don't occur. And so this is not the only opportunity that you will have in the world. Other opportunities will come. And lastly, I also want to remind you, surround yourself with a network of honest and kind people who refuse to see you lose. Women who will rehearse your identity back to you when you lose your nerve. Women who will offer honest feedback about your strengths and developmental opportunities. Listen, the year is almost over. We have to forgive ourselves for all the times we knew better but didn't do better. And let's march into 2021 with an audacious spirit. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that anything can change at any given time. And that means you too. So here's to women who have the audacity to ask for exactly what we want and are prepared to receive it. Thank you for tuning in.